What's up guys, e-bike Scott here. I just got out of work early. It's Friday and I have some work to do on the e-bikes. So the LR small block down here, it needs new front bearings and it also needs, I'm gonna swap out the controller. So I ordered some new headset bearings because the original ones are smoked on this Cane Creek headset. So I got the bearings to swap out, I got some grease to put in there and pack them. And I want to switch out the controller. So this is a 45 amp controller off of eBay with a LC960 display. It worked really good, but it's 48 volt and 72 volt compatible. And I always had issues with it running the battery too low. There's no low volt cutoff. And also there's a slight delay in the throttle. So like if you hit the throttle real quick, it kind of like takes a second before it starts doing anything. And it was kind of giving me trouble. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to try to swap out that controller with, what do I got here? I got the Kelly controller right there. I think that's the 72121X, the KBS. So we're going to swap that controller into the system. We're going to end up losing the display, which is fine. I'm probably going to put a voltage meter on the handlebars. But let's first get these bearings installed and we'll go from there. All right, I have the headset pulled off the bike. And it's a downhill fork, so I had to take off the triple clamp as well. And I have the top bearing here, and I just wanted to confirm that both of the new bearings have the same exact part number. So I confirmed that. If you look at it right here, it's an HS20131, HS20131. All right, so they have the same part number, so it doesn't matter if you put it on the bottom or the top. Here's the existing bearing, and the thing is absolutely smoked. It's missing the cover, and it's actually falling apart. Oh my God, yeah, see, you can pull the center ring out of this bearing, and all the ball bearings would just fall. And it's supposed to be a sealed bearing, so it's not supposed to do that, obviously. This is why I bought new ones. All right, we got the bottom bearing in and greased, and there's grease everywhere because even though they're a sealed bearing, I'd rather grease everything and make it nice. And then I got the top one in there and it's completely greased. Now I'm just gonna clean up the 1 1/8" stem here with some alcohol so it's not slippery, and then we can put everything back together. All right, we got the triple back in, and now I can put in the spacers and then mount the headset back into place. The headset is now fixed, new bearings installed, and it's way tighter. There's no play, no wobble, no slack. Got it all tightened down the triple, and I cleaned it up with whatever rag I had left. All right, I have all of the old electronics off the bike. I took the display off, took the cabling going off, I cut the throttle, I took my wiring from my motor apart. I have my new Kelly controller, well, my new used Kelly controller that's going to be going into the bike. And I'm also going to be putting in this key switch with a voltage meter on the handlebar. And because this was reused from another bike, it's got a short cord, so I have a piece of cord to extend that. All right, we got that soldered and taped. Now we can get the voltage switch installed on the handlebars, even though I have to put it on the wrong side of the bar. It's like a really cheap Chinese thing, and the wire is coming out the left side, but I'm putting it on the left side of the bar, so I need to wrap the wire around it and kind of zip tie it. I got all the wiring from the handlebar zip tied down to the controller and motor area. Now let's get the controller in place and start wiring this thing up. All right, we got most of the positives and negatives all soldered up. I have the phases temped out because I'm gonna have to find the rotation of the motor and make sure everything's proper. And I have the switch on the handlebars trying to kill the power on the controller. So hopefully everything works. All right, so I have the battery plugged in. I made a nice big spark, and my key switch is saying 82 volts. But if you notice, it never shuts off. So it's shutting off the controller, but I have it wired backwards. So I have to switch that around on the controller side so it shuts off the display when the key is off. And I had to pull the chain off because you never know how smooth the motor is spinning when you have a chain drive in there. But it looks like we just have blue color for color, and we swapped the green and the yellow, which is pretty common for these controllers. So I have the key switch working properly. So if I shut it off, the voltage goes out, turn it on, the voltage goes to 82 volts. And right now we have the motor spinning properly. Let's give it a try here. seems pretty smooth, but I don't have an amp meter to know for sure. Pretty sure this is the color combination. It has like one little step that sounds like it's the timing's slightly off, but I think that's pretty good. I think we're gonna have to roll with that for now, because until I get out and actually test drive it and the rain stops, I can't really tell. All right, we got the controller all wired up and working properly. The key switch in there also working properly. And we got it all buttoned up as good as we can for now. I have the XT60 here that you just plug in to power the battery. And I have the programming lead still hanging out here because I have to program it next. So that'll be the last thing we do. I just put the chain back on and made sure everything works, and we are good to go. All right, so I got my laptop out here at the bike, and I'm just looking up the spec sheet for the cells that I use to build this battery pack. And it says that they run all the way down to 2.5 volts per cell, which I think is pretty low. That would be 50 volts for a 20 cell pack, but it says the low volt here is 30 volts. So I'm gonna set the low volt on the controller for probably around 60 or 62 or something like that. And that should be safe. All right, and we are into the controller. All right, so I need to modify my original bracket, cut it down, make it smaller, and drill some regular disc brake holes in it for mountain bike stuff. All right, I got the bike laying down, and I have the bracket temped out, and I have the brakes held on in the position. I have them bolted in here, and now I just have to weld this bracket in place. All right, there we go. It's not pretty, but none of the welding I ever do is pretty. All right, we have the bike complete and ready for a test ride. So we got the battery charged to 82 volts. We got it plugged in. We have the rear brakes welded on there nice and professionally. And by that, I mean slightly half-assed. And everything's good. All right, something's not right. I'm pretty sure I have the combination right on the motor, but it just sounds very rough, like the combination's wrong or the timing's off. It's got like a loud growl to it. So I have a feeling something's not right. Maybe I have to adjust the haul angle. I think it's set to 120, so I have to look up what this motor is. But, well, the website doesn't say anything about the motor except like 67 revolutions, and it says 5 magnetic pole pairs. It doesn't say anything about the degree angle of the hauls or anything like that. So I'm not really sure what to do here. I'm not sure if I should just try to run it like that. I mean, and just see if things are getting hot. I don't have any faults on the controller. It seems very rough. You hear it? It doesn't like starting from a stop. And it just sounds loud. The thing flies though. The brakes are working very good, but it's just really loud. I mean, I don't think there was any other combination that was spinning in the proper direction. Not really sure. It sounded so nice and quiet and smooth when the chain was off, but then when you put the chain on, the thing sounds pretty beastly. I don't know if that's just louder than I'm used to because I've been driving the Talaria. I haven't been riding my Kuberg. My Kuberg's just parked back there behind everything. So I'm not really used to chain-driven bikes anymore because, I mean, the Talaria does have the gearbox and the chain, but it's so much quieter. This thing is just loud now.